Typhoon Haiyan has devastated the Philippines, leaving death, starvation, and injury in its wake. While aid groups are making progress saving victims, doctors are forced to amputate arms and legs in order to save some of the most severely injured. That means the need for prosthetic limbs and more funding is skyrocketing. Answering that need is an American prosthetics company, along with Physicians for Peace and the Joint Distribution Council. Inspired by an Academy Award contender film that tells the story of how the Philippines offered refuge to Jews fleeing Nazi Germany, Ability Prosthetics is honoring that brave generosity by committing to collecting and donating 500 pre-owned prosthetic limbs. Ability is challenging other prosthetics companies to match the donation.
Ability Prosthetics and Orthotics has been in the business for the last 10 years, and we've had the opportunity to work with a great organization called Physicians for Peace, an organization that helps bring donated limbs to in-need countries. And it so happens that we happen to have a drive for the Philippines previous to the typhoon that hit.
All of the prosthetics will be shipped and distributed by Physicians for Peace. The Joint Distribution Council is raising money for the cause and has already raised $150,000.
And they performed 55 surgeries, mostly amputations.
Philippines ambassador to the U.S., Jose Quizia, last week, talking about the dire need for prosthetic limbs for his typhoon-ravaged country. The ambassador was speaking at a Capitol Hill event where he accepted $750,000 worth of reconditioned limbs from the CEO of Ability Prosthetics and Orthotics, Jeff Brandt. With the donation, Ability is helping to repay a debt to the people of the Philippines, a debt that goes back 75 years. It was 75 years ago this month that Nazi stormtroopers destroyed Jewish homes and businesses in an orgy of destruction known as Kristallnacht. In the Philippines, a diverse group of powerful poker buddies devised a plan to rescue the Jewish people by using loopholes in immigration laws. The friends who orchestrated the daring rescue were Manuel Quezon, the first president of the Philippines, Colonel Dwight Eisenhower, who was stationed in Manila, U.S. High Commissioner Paul McNutt, and 5 cigar makers from Cincinnati, the Frieda brothers. Eventually, they would save more than 1,300 Jews. Their exploits are recounted in the documentary Rescue in the Philippines, which is currently under consideration for an Academy Award. One of the producers of the documentary is on the board of Ability Prosthetics.
But the real lesson out of all of this is these were men who realized what the risks were to themselves personally. They were filled with moral courage. There was really no upside for any one of them in taking part in this plan, which was going around a lot of different laws and regulations and finding loopholes. But Catholic, Protestant, Quaker, Jew, they all got together and saved 1,300 lives. And I think there's an enormous circle, symmetry, whatever, into what is happening now, too.
The Jewish Joint Distribution Committee, which funded much of the refugee relocation 75 years ago, has already set up a relief account for the victims of Typhoon Haiyan.